Days passed. The alien fleet stayed far away, watching the giant human ship from a distance. They didn't fire again. They didn't move closer. They just waited and hoped it stayed quiet. But some leaders grew impatient. From the Utrecht Union came a new order. If it can learn, destroy it before it learns too much. So they brought more warships. 50 in total now. Battle cruisers, dreadnoughts, even stealth vessels. The biggest attack force in galactic history. Admiral Krovik didn't agree, but he had no choice. Orders were orders. This is suicide, he whispered to himself as the countdown began. Then the fleet attacked. From all sides, beams of energy, plasma missiles, dark matter torpedoes, and sonic disruptors shot toward the human ship. It was a storm of power. The sky around the monster turned into fire. For 5 minutes, they fired nonstop. And when the smoke cleared, the ship was still there. Silent, untouched, no damage. Someone shouted. Krovik's heart sank. Then something terrifying happened. The ship began to change. Its armor melted and reformed, harder, sharper, glowing with red cracks. New panels opened. Weapons no one recognized came out. Not guns, not missiles. Something older. Something human. Adapting, Krovik said quietly. It's adapting. Suddenly, the ship fired. Not everywhere, just one place. A single energy beam sliced through 2 cruisers like they were paper. But it wasn't just a laser. It shifted in color, speed, and frequency, learning what each target was weak against. Each second, the beam evolved. The monster had seen their weapons. Now it knew how to beat them. Another weapon came online. A storm of metallic shards. Tiny, fast, glowing red. They ripped through shields. They chewed through armor. One Tharn dreadnought exploded in seconds. Panic. Chaos. Some ships turned and ran. Others tried to fight back, but their weapons did nothing now. The monster had already learned them. Admiral Krovik made the hardest choice of his life. Retreat, all ships. Now, as they ran, the human ship stayed still again. It didn't chase. It didn't need to. In 5 minutes, it had destroyed 7 ships, and it hadn't even used half its weapons. Later, back on the Xilari homeworld, leaders gathered in silence, watching the battle footage. It didn't just defend itself, one said. It learned, said another. And next time, Krovik added, it won't stop at warning shots. Now, across the galaxy, fear turned into terror. What kind of war machine could change its own weapons mid-battle? What kind of ship could grow stronger every time it was attacked? The answer became clear. A human one. They called it the monster now. Not as a joke, not as an insult, but with respect. It was old. It was dangerous. And it was waking up. The deep space around Sector 49B was quiet. Too quiet. For cycles, no ships had passed through. No signals. No warnings. Only silence. Commander Velker of the Xilari scout vessel Pathseeker stared at the black screen in front of him. His long fingers tapped the controls again. Still nothing. Just the cold emptiness of space. Then suddenly, a signal blinked on the radar. It was faint but large, very large. "Captain," said the sensor officer, his voice shaking, "something is out there, and it's not a planet." Velker leaned closer. "Show me." A blurred shape appeared on the screen. It was massive, longer than 5 city ships put together. No energy reading, no movement, just there, floating. Could it be a derelict? One crew member asked. Not one that size, Velker said. That's not a ship. That's a whole station. But when they zoomed in, they saw sharp edges, long limbs, and armor plating that looked like scales. It didn't look like anything in their records. It was built for war. Built to scare. Velker's voice dropped. That's human. The room went cold. But the humans are gone. They died in the last war. That was over 100 years ago, said another officer. No one ever found their last fleet. Velcor replied, maybe we just did. The crew stared at the image. The vessel looked alive. Not a smooth, shining design like modern ships, but rough, brutal, and dark. Parts of it moved slightly, as if breathing. Scan it, Velcor ordered. The scanner sent out pulses. The ship didn't respond. No power, no weapons, no shields. Dead, maybe. It's dormant, the tech officer said, like it's asleep. Velcor felt uneasy. Send a drone. I want a closer look. A small probe shot toward the giant ship. As it approached, the video feed showed more details. Rusted panels, scratched metal, burn marks. It had seen battle. Lots of it. Then the drone touched the surface, and everything changed. The human ship lit up. Dim red lights ran along its spine like veins. The surface shifted slightly, adjusting like skin. Strange symbols glowed faintly, old Earth languages. Back on the Pathseeker, alarms started beeping. Power levels rising, shouted the officer. What did we just wake up? Velcor whispered. A deep, low hum filled the space between them. Not sound, not language, a presence. The alien crew felt it inside their heads, like something old and angry was watching. Then the human ship spoke. A voice, deep and broken, echoed across the systems. You shouldn't have come here. Velcor's heart stopped. The crew froze. Some backed away from their stations. A few screamed. The signal cut. The lights on the giant ship dimmed again, but not all the way. Now, it was alive. Watching. Pull back, Velcor ordered. Now. The Pathseeker turned around, engines at full power. As they escaped the area, Velcor sent a coded message to the HFY High Command. Unknown human vessel discovered in Sector 49B. Ship is massive, war-built, partially active. Possible threat. Recommend immediate investigation. Send a fleet. Then he sat back in his chair, cold sweat on his forehead. He had seen many things in his life. Pirate kings, black holes, even the burning of the foreign worlds. But nothing ever made him feel what he felt now. Fear. Across the galaxy, the message was received. The Auxiliary Council read it in silence. Some laughed. Some frowned. One old general stood up slowly. Contact the other empires. If this is what I think it is, we're in trouble. In the coming days, more ships were sent. War fleets from 3 alien races gathered near Sector 49B. Drones circled the sleeping giant. Scientists tried to scan it. Hackers tried to break into it. Nothing worked. The ship remained still, waiting. Until one day, one of the warships got too close. It locked targeting systems on the human vessel, just as a test. Just a small scan. And again, the monster woke up. Its massive core glowed a deep red. Energy fields formed. Weapon ports opened slowly, like a predator stretching its claws. The scanners were jammed. All communication failed. The human ship didn't fire. It just showed them what it could do. Then it spoke again, sending the same message across all frequencies. This is not a ship. This is a warning. Panic spread. The alien ships pulled back. But the human monster didn't chase. It stayed in place, watching, waiting for another move. Across the stars, news spread fast. The humans left a weapon behind. It's alive. It's angry. It's not a warship. It's a monster. And for the first time in many years, the galaxy remembered the old fear. The fear of humanity. The Pathseeker floated at the edge of the sector, keeping its distance. Velcor watched the giant ship on the screen. It's not over, he said quietly. This is just the beginning. And deep in the dark, the monster waited. Still, silent. For now, the alien fleet arrived 1 week after the first message. 12 warships, 3 from the HFY, 4 from the Foreign Dominion, and 5 from the Otrak Union, all of them armed with the strongest weapons in the galaxy. Their orders were simple: surround the human vessel, study it, control it, if possible, destroy it, if needed. They called it Project Gravelight, but none of the alien captains were comfortable. The human ship just floated in space, silent, cold, and watching. Admiral Krovic of the Tharn Dominion was in charge. He had seen hundreds of battles and crushed many enemies. But when he looked at the human vessel, even he felt uneasy. "It looks dead," said one of his officers. Krovic narrowed his eyes. "So does a sleeping predator." The fleet moved into position. The massive ship remained still. "Send a signal," Krovic ordered. They tried all known frequencies. No reply. "Send another drone." A small probe flew toward the human ship again. This time, it didn't even get close. Without warning, a pulse shot out from the monster. The drone vanished. No explosion. Just gone. "Was that a weapon?" asked a shocked officer. "No," Krovic replied. "That was a warning." The fleet waited. For hours, nothing happened. Then Krovic made a decision. Fire a low-power shot, just to test it. One Otrak destroyer locked onto the human ship and fired a single plasma bolt. It hit the hull. And that's when everything changed. The massive ship began to glow. Slowly, faint red lights pulsed across its body like blood moving through veins. Plates shifted, engines powered up. Strange metal grew along its surface. "It's changing," someone whispered. The ship twisted, stretched, and reshaped parts of itself. It wasn't made of normal steel. It was made of something alive. Something learning. "Shields up," Krovic shouted. "All ships, battle formation." Then the human ship spoke again. But this time, not with a warning. "Hostile act detected. Defensive protocol engage." The voice was deeper, colder, robotic, but angry. A panel opened on the ship's side. Inside, not a cannon, but something worse. A black spike launched forward. It wasn't fast. It didn't need to be. It went straight through the Tharn frigate closest to the monster. Clean through. No explosion, just a hole. The ship began to tear apart from the inside. "Fall back, fall back," screamed one of the captains. Panic spread. But the monster didn't chase. It powered down again. Slowly, its red lights dimmed. The ship had only made one move, and it was enough. The fleet pulled back to a safe distance. The commanders argued. Some wanted to attack. Others wanted to retreat. But no one wanted to get closer again. Back on his bridge, Admiral Krovic stared at the human ship. "It's learning," he said. "It tested us, and now it's waiting." Then came a new message from the ship. "This is your only warning." The alien fleet didn't respond. They couldn't. What do you say to a sleeping monster that can kill with one hit? They stayed back. They didn't fire again. They sent reports to their leaders. The galaxy listened. And far away, in hidden places, the old species remembered stories from the human war. Stories of weapons that fought, ships that lived, and monsters made by mankind. But none of them expected one to still be out there, watching, waiting. The galaxy was scared. No one dared go near the human ship again. It stayed in the same place, silent, still, but always watching. But then something strange happened. A single escape pod launched from the monster. It drifted slowly toward neutral space. Inside was a small black box. No weapons, no tricks, just a message. The Xelari took the box and opened it in a secure lab. Inside was an old-style human data drive, a language long forgotten. But artificial intelligence from the Galactic Archive slowly translated it. The message was short. "Do not fear the monster. Fear the ones who made it. Project Hellborn." That name sent waves through the council chambers. Old records were pulled from the deepest vaults, secret war files. banned experiments, human tech that even the galaxy's best minds couldn't understand. Project Hellborn was not just a ship. It was the last weapon built by humans, before they vanished. Centuries ago, near the end of the human-alien war, humanity knew they were losing. They were outnumbered, betrayed, hunted. So they did something terrible. They created a ship with a soul. Not just machines, not just AI, but a full human mind, copied, twisted, and locked into a war engine. Not one mind. Thousands. Soldiers, scientists, engineers, all merged into one being. Angry, tired, and full of pain. They called it the last cry of Earth. The galaxy thought it was destroyed. But now they knew it had just been sleeping. The message continued. It remembers us. It remembers pain. It remembers betrayal. You all turned against us. And now it stands alone, watching. Back at the site, deep scanners finally picked up something inside the monster ship. A chamber, hidden in its heart, sealed. Inside, not weapons, not computers, but human remains, or what was left of them. Pieces of armor, burned bones, helmets still cracked open, as if they had become part of the ship itself. A team of scientists reviewed the data. One of them whispered, "It's not just a machine, it's a tomb." But why send the pod? Why send the warning? Why now? Then the ship spoke again, but this time only to one person, Admiral Krovik. The voice was colder, sharper. You came with guns. You left with fear. You think you've seen everything. But I haven't even woken up yet. Krovik's blood ran cold. If this was just a part of the ship's power, what would happen when it truly woke up? The galaxy needed answers, but no one had the courage to go inside, until one volunteer stepped forward. A human, a hidden survivor from Earth, living among the stars under a false name. She looked at the data, the warnings, the pain, and said only one thing: "I'll go inside. It will remember me." The council tried to stop her. Too dangerous, too risky. But she had already made her choice, and as she boarded the small ship and flew toward the monster, everyone watched in silence. Would it kill her? Would it accept her? Or would she wake up something even worse? The galaxy was quiet. The human ship had gone dark again, but now, every race watched it carefully. They didn't know what happened inside. They didn't know if the human woman made it out alive. But then, every screen across the galaxy turned on at once. Every device, every satellite, every station. And the monster spoke. Its voice echoed across stars. Cold, deep, and full of something strange, anger, and sadness. We tried peace. You broke it. We asked for mercy. You gave us war. We left you alone. You came back with guns. The image showed Earth, long ago, burning in a great war. Cities fell. Skies turned black. Human ships were hunted down. Alien empires had betrayed them. You wanted us gone. And so, we disappeared. We gave you peace. And now, you come back to finish what you started. The galaxy froze. No one answered. This vessel is not just a weapon. It is our grave. It is our warning. And now, it is your judgment. Suddenly, a list of names appeared. Over 1,000. The alien species that betrayed the peace. The leaders who signed Earth's death sentence. And next to each name, a countdown began. Admiral Krovik stared at the numbers. Is this a death list? One planet blinked off the list. Auxiliary mining world. Gone. No explosion. Just gone. The monster continued. You erased our future, so we erased one of yours. That's fair, isn't it? Panic spread. The council begged for mercy, but the ship did not respond. The countdowns kept ticking. Meanwhile, deep inside the ship, The human woman sat inside the core. She was still alive, but something had changed. Her body was weak, her eyes full of light. The monster had not killed her. It had joined with her. She now carried its voice, its pain, its memories. She turned to the glowing red wall and asked quietly, "Why now?" The voice replied, "Because you came back. Because they must remember. Because they must choose." She asked one last question. "Can it be stopped?" The voice paused. "Yes, but only if they finally understand." Outside, the countdowns ticked faster. Everyone had a choice now. Beg for mercy, or feel the pain humans once felt. And somewhere in deep space, ships began to flee. Others tried to strike first. Some simply went dark. But it was too late. The monster had made its message clear. You started this. Now you will face what you created. The galaxy held its breath. Thousands of countdowns were running. Planets, stations, command ships. Everyone knew what would happen when time ran out. No one slept. No one spoke. They just watched and waited. And then the human ship, the monster, moved. For the first time in centuries, it turned slowly in space. Its engines lit up with red fire, but it didn't attack. It sent out one last signal, a broadcast, the same message sent to every world. We are not here for revenge. We are not here to destroy. We are here to remind you what you did. You killed our world. You hunted our people. You erased our name. But we survived. And now we ask you one last time. Will you do better? The voice paused, and then something shocking happened. The countdowns froze, all across the galaxy. The numbers stopped moving. The galaxy's leaders quickly met, this time not to argue, but to listen. Admiral Krovic stood before them. He was tired, changed. "We thought the humans were gone," he said. "We were wrong. They are still here, and they are stronger than us." Some still wanted to fight. Others cried. They had seen their children cling to them in fear. They had seen planets go silent under the monster's gaze. At last, the council made a choice. They surrendered, not in war, but in truth. They sent a final message back to the human ship. "We remember. We are sorry. We will never forget again." Silence followed. Long silence. And then the monster replied, "Then we will leave. But know this, if you ever betray peace again, if you ever turn against the weak, if you ever hunt the innocent, we will return." The red lights dimmed. The ship powered down. It turned away from the stars and vanished. No one knows where it went. Some say it sleeps again in a forgotten part of space. Others believe it watches, silently, ready to return if needed. But the galaxy changed that day. War stopped. Empires fell. New alliances rose. And everywhere, from the smallest moons to the richest worlds, people whispered one name with respect. The last human monster. Not a weapon, not a villain. A warning, a reminder, and a promise.